And that's following the fighting where some supporters of the Labour Party on Wednesday mobbed a factional national chairman of the party, and that's Lamidi Akpakpa, at the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja. Welcome to Standpoint. I am Precious Amayo. Now, this is what we're going to focus on today. Let us give you again the highlight, all that played out in court on Wednesday. Now, Mr. Papa attended the court proceedings on Wednesday, where the Labour Party and its presidential candidate, Peter Obi, are challenging the All Progressives Congress, that's the APC, and Bola Tinubu's victory as Nigeria's president-elect. At the commencement of the sitting, Mr. Papa had an altercation with Akin Oshutoku, who is the Director General of the Peter Obi Presidential Campaign Council. Now, Mr. Papa and Oshutoku engaged in a confrontation over who would sit at the litigants' gallery in the courtroom as the former asked Mr. Oshutoku to give up his seat. Now, the trouble escalated on Wednesday shortly after the court adjourned proceedings for that day. As Mr. Papa sauntered out of the courtroom to a horde of court reporters, the mob comprising young people intercepted him. Now, they stopped him from granting an interview to the journalist as they accused him of factionalizing the Labour Party. But that did not deter Mr. Papa from coming to court on the 19th of May when the case was eventually resumed. But the question many Nigerians want to know is who is exactly the chairman of the party. The Abure-led faction still claims the seat. They say they have now gotten a court ruling in Benin, asking anyone in the court, in a party, to restrain itself from removing them as the national executive while the case goes to the appeal. Now, so who is the chairman of Labour Party? Joining us in the studio to talk about this is the former chairman, Labour Party, Lagos State, Kayode Salako. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, good afternoon.
And the legal advisor, we also have the legal advisor for Labour Party from Ogun State, Oluwafemi Ibiayo. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much for having me.
So let's start with all of these issues before it degenerated to where it is now. The Labour Party seems like the new bride in the country, just before the election. It had a lot of support from young Nigerians because of a presidential candidate. And so that's why a lot of people are shocked as to why what is happening in your party is happening. What exactly is going on in the Labour Party? And I want to start with you.
Okay, thank you very much. What is happening in the Labour Party ever since our principal, Peter Obi, identified with the body has been a systematic and orchestrated infiltration and destabilization campaign aimed at internally neutralizing the operations of the party nationally. It went as far as even going to the point of orchestrating well-planned out moves to ensure that the party would not be able to field effective candidates for practically almost all the key positions that the party intended to contest at the recent cycle of the 2023 elections. And so it was not, although initially that was to be expected because we were the party to beat, we were the major threat to the old order, and Labour Party being, especially as exemplified by the personality of the leadership quality and capability that is inherent in our principal, Peter Obi. It was obvious that the old order of the system had to rally around, and they were ready to play dirty. We raised alarms to this when we started to see the first signs of it emanating even right from Ogun State and in a number of other states like in Lagos. And we realized that, look, we would need to do what we could as best as possible to contain the situations. But what we find happening, I must tell you, is not really that internally the party is disorganized. The party is not disorganized. What we just simply have are certain
you now have two chairmen and two national executive people who claim, or two different groups claiming to be the National Executive Council of the party, and you say the party is not internally disorganized.
There is no faction. Let me be explicitly clear about that. There is no faction in the Labour Party. When you speak of a faction, that necessarily implies that maybe perhaps within the party itself there are lawfully two positions. You can't have that within the constitutional operational framework of any constituted party, political party. We are creatures of statutes. So our organs, again, are determined and have been brought into being by the statute, which is the Constitution as well as the Electoral Act. So if it's so easy in the case of political parties that you can determine whether this corporate entity has actually exercised its internal organs in one way or the other, because that can easily be deciphered just from a cursory look at its constitution. So when individuals claim they are acting or purporting to act on behalf of the artificial body, which is this, the statutory body, the party itself, the political party itself, but these actions do not derive from lawful processes, lawful procedures by which this entity itself can lawfully act within the eyes of the law, then you do not have any such situations.
Well, let me ask you before I go to Mr. Salako, because I want him to respond to you shortly. But you said that, look, which is something that a lot of your party members have said, those on the Abure camp have always said. They say, look, people have been trying to infiltrate the party. People have been trying to infiltrate the party. Who are those who have now infiltrated your party and who you say, look, are trying to take over your party since, you rose to national acceptance? Yes,
but these facts are clear. They're in commonplace. They are part of, they are actually, issues that have to do with public knowledge in the common space out there. We've had members that have been, bought over. They've been given what you call briefs and undertakings for pecuniary considerations to effect certain things or carry out certain steps within the party to create the illusion in public that the party is in disarray, that its leadership has been ousted, or whatever you may think that will bring some kind of disrepute, particularly to our principal and his aspirations concerning the electoral cycle. So, but these individuals have been well identified. We've taken steps lawfully within the party to neutralize them and in some cases even expel some of them. And so the continued acknowledgement, particularly by the media, that there are certain individuals that are purporting to act as, take for instance, this case of this Mr. Lamidi Apapa. It is clear, he himself, by self-declaration, has made it clear that he was once a deputy national chairman of the party. What is the role of a deputy national chairman of a party? It's simply to assist the national chairman of the party. And he cannot act except there's an absence of that national chairman in carrying out his duties. When you speak of an absence, not removal from office, not a suspension, but a mere fact that, okay, he has to travel, maybe he has some official assignment somewhere and he has to be out of the country or he has to be somewhere. Somebody has to deputize for him and still carry out some basic administration. And that's the whole idea. But there is no order of court, as we are speaking, that has officially removed Julius Abure from office, or so any of our official or principal officers.
There's an order of court that says he should stop parading himself as the national chairman. But I want Mr. Salako to respond to you before we get to other issues. Please respond to all that he has said. He has said, look, it's some individuals who are trying to infiltrate the ranks of the party, and that the party is still intact. There is nothing wrong with the Labour Party itself, and there are no factions within the Labour Party.
But Nigerians out there know that a lot are wrong with the Labour Party right now. A lot are wrong, and he has spoken like a member of the party that he is. The way he has spoken is the way he's supposed to speak. When I was in the party, when I was in the Labour Party, I was speaking like that. But I am here this afternoon as a public affairs analyst. And the reason I accepted to come and talk on Labour Party, which is going to be the last one anyway, after this, I won't accept any invitation.
Thank you for making our invitation the last one.
Good.
Go ahead.
Well, I was the former state chairman of Labour Party in Lagos State, and I saw it all. And what did I see? The culture of operations of the party is what is causing all this. Membership, uncultured manifestations. The way a lot of people behave inside that party is the issue. A lot of members are not disciplined. There is no culture of discipline in the operation of the party. He is from Ogun State. He cannot tell me that he doesn't know Arabambi. Arabambi can be called a mole today, but this is a man that has spent over 12 years in Labour Party. And the way Arabambi is operating now, dragging issues with the party now, is who Arabambi has been. He knows. Arabambi is like that. It's like a pain in the neck of the Labour Party system. Arabambi was the former state chairman of Labour Party in Ogun State before. So today, it could be called a mole. Alhaji Lamidi Apapa is a founding member of Labour Party. Labour Party was founded in 2002, and Alhaji Lamidi Apapa has been a member of that party since then. He hasn't gone to any other party before. So why will he be a mole today in a party he has spent over 21 years? Akingbade, the national legal advisor of the party, he is a legal advisor to the party in Ogun State. He's on the side of Abure. But the national legal advisor of the party, that is supposed to be the person that should be coming down like this to defend Abure, he's on the side of Lamidi Apapa. So that is to let you know that there is something, a lot of things are wrong with the operational culture and values of the Labour Party system in Nigeria.
But let me ask you this question.
Why don't you let me?
You would continue, but the question is for you. He said something that, look, if you want to take the seat, you have to take it legally. Whilst there is a court order saying Abure and 3 other members of the party, should stop parading themselves as, national chairman and, executive, there is no court order saying that Lamidi Apapa should take over that position. I mean, shouldn't there be some sort of legitimacy to taking that position? Is there no process within the party to choose if there is a vacuum? Is there no process within the party to choose who fills that vacuum?
Well, I think what Alhaji Lamidi Apapa is struggling for, what he's claiming that he wants to be in this issue, is that the same constitution of the party says when the chairman of the party cannot perform its functions, then the next person should take over. I was the state chairman of the party, and I'm aware there is a provision like that in the constitution of the party. Now, the issue is this. Lamidi Apapa has been the number 2 to Julius Abure over the long period of time. Working with Julius Abure. Arabambi had been working with Julius Abure. Akingbade had been working with Julius Abure. All these men that are dragging issues to Julius Abure today are Julius Abure's kitchen cabinet men yesterday. It's men, operational men yesterday. It is because they have issues. That is why all these things are coming up. They are his men. Abure cannot say he doesn't know them. Now, Alhaji Apapa had never come out to drag anything with Julius Abure before. He hadn't done that. When I was the state chairman, Alhaji Lamidi Apapa was the man Julius Abure always, sends to represent him on special duties. When we wanted to conduct the substitution primary election that brought in Gbadebo Roosevelt as a governorship candidate of the party in Lagos, it is Alhaji Lamidi Apapa Julius Abure sent to lead the team that came to conduct that election. Peter Obi cannot say he doesn't know Alhaji Lamidi Apapa. Julius Abure cannot say he doesn't know him. This man had never struggled with Abure before. But why now? The reason is this. There is an issue among these men. An issue that Julius Abure himself shouldn't have allowed to get to this stage. And that is where reconciliation as a tool in political party management should be a tool. Should be an instrument any good manager of political party shouldn't play with. That is one thing that is lacking in the operations of the Labour Party system in Nigeria. It's like they hate that tool, they hear that tool, reconciliation. This issue is the issue that has to do with a breach of trust between the Lamidi Apapa side. All these men, they were the operational tools of Julius Abure yesterday. They were the ones Julius Abure normally sends to go and carry out some operations for him. Why are they now fighting him today? It has to do with an issue.
I haven't heard anything that
you
is
see,
of substance.
my brother, I was a state chairman. I operated with all these people closely. I know them one on one.
Let me allow him.
Julius Abure should have allowed. He should have allowed a closed door arrangement where he will settle whatever he is having with these guys.
But he wants to respond. Just a minute. He wants to respond to you because he said, look, he made a statement earlier that he hasn't heard anything of substance he said, but he did talk about the Constitution. He said your Constitution enables Apapa to take the seat if there is a vacuum, and the vacuum that was created by the court.
It depends on the circumstance.
But that's completely false and wrong.
Let him respond.
No, that's completely. I have the Constitution here, and it's clear. Like I said, the role of the deputy national chairman is always to assist the national chairman of the party. He's supposed to act. Hold on, please. Hold on, please, if I may. Is supposed to act on instructions of our national chairman. And if the national chairman, for any reason, is administratively absent or needs to...
He cannot perform...
The Constitution did not say cannot perform his duties. It just says in the absence. If you were to report here for duty today, and for one reason or the other, you couldn't report to the studios today.
Can you take that?
Yes, that's an absence. So in reality, it says that the deputy national chairman shall act in the absence of the national chairman. So you see, it's clearly a question of simple administrative processes. That provision does not. Hold on, please. That provision.
If you continue, if the court says stand down, you are no longer parody yourself as the national chairman. Would that not,
in the first instance,
would that not amount to absence?
In the first instance, it should even be stated, right, that I hear the phrase parading. There is no such statement or no such concept in law. It's often used in the media, parading. In the eyes of the law, there is no such concept. The Constitution already creates a statutory position known as the chairman of the national chairman of our body, of this body. That is an office that will continue to stand. It's an office of perpetual succession. It's an office that outlives even Julius Abure. And it's perpetual, it will remain in effect because it's a statutory creation of the Electoral Act. So the question of you saying there's an office, somebody parading in that office, if he is still the substantive chairman, as so long as you cannot show me, hold on, so there is no order, even yesterday, the court made a clarification on it.
That's another court in Benin.
Not the same, I'm even talking of the same Justice Mausu. When he had to start, state proceedings in view of the fact that actually the appeal against his ruling had been entered at the Court of Appeal in Abuja. And he made it clear, he had to clarify himself because he saw that the press had been misconstruing the issues. And he made it clear, if I may finish, he made it clear that he made no pronouncement as regards the appointment of any officer of the Labour Party. He did make no pronouncement in his ruling concerning Apapa being appointed as the national chairman of the party or to even act as acting in an acting capacity. There is no, for you to act in an acting capacity or to even be the national chairman of the party, certain organs of the party itself must be invoked, must be set into process. You see, I keep explaining to people, this we speak so when we are talking about politically, we speak so much about the personalities that are holding these offices. This is a statutory organization created by the Electoral Act. So for it to function, it can only function in accordance with the law. So if you have a situation where an individual who is holding an office and can only be removed at a national convention his position is purportedly being usurped by a third party or by somebody who claims to be a deputy national chairman. On what basis or what provisions of our constitution was that done?
Your party will not be the first party to have the national chairman removed by court.
Exactly.
But our national chairman has not been removed. You see, that's the point. There was no order by Justice Mazu to the effect saying that the chairman of the Labour Party has been removed from office. Please, let's construe the order perfectly well. There is no so, and that's why the court itself had to make that point clear yesterday or the first day, when it had to make it clear that I didn't make any order appointing any individual to any office. He has no such powers.
The court,
it has been held by the Supreme Court consistently that no court in Nigeria has the powers to inquire into the internal affairs of a political party.
You see, for the purpose of education,
yeah,
we are on a live television program and we are supposed to be educating Nigerians.
But not misinforming them.
Nobody is misinforming them. It is clear. Abure's issue borders on criminal allegation. Some people went to court to file a case of criminal infraction. They said the national chairman of Labour Party perpetrated some criminal acts. They approached the court. And once
those are still allegations.
They are allegations, right?
I want to make that clear.
What I expect as a Nigerian, not a member of Labour Party now, as a Nigerian, is for the court to tell those people who took the case to it, to go back to the party. To go back to the party that it does not have jurisdiction to entertain that case. That since the party has a constitution, you can't bring the case of the national chairman of the party to the court when the court has a constitution. So what the court should have done is send them back to the internal, resolution mechanism of the party vis-a-vis the content of the constitution to handle it. The court shouldn't have entertained any jurisdiction to hear the case, to handle the matter. Since the court has been handling the matter, so which means there is an issue. That's number one. Number two, the court did not say that Barrister Julius Abure has been removed. What the court says, according to the way I understand it, because I am close to some of the lawyers in the party, and when this issue started, I wanted to know, because I am a very inquisitive person, I wanted to know, maybe my former boss was actually involved in what they alleged that he did. Or maybe he had any case to answer at all. I wanted to know. Lest I come on a television platform like this to either come and speak for him or against it. Because I know I'm going to be invited. So I started making inquiries. And these lawyers, they were letting me know that the court did not remove Julius Abure. What the court says is a criminal allegation has been levied against you, and the court has jurisdiction to answer the case, to attend to it. If the court does not have jurisdiction, why is the court attending to it? The court should have thrown the case out. The court should have thrown the case out. And if Abure does not have any case to answer in court, in that case, then why is he appealing?
But
Abure has appealed against that. Abure has appealed against that.
Let me ask you.
restraining order
Where is the place of
in the appeal court? Why is he appealing?
There's always the assumption of innocence until proven guilty.
Yes.
Shouldn't that be applied here as well?
The court has not said that Abure is guilty. The court has not said that Abure
And I'm not talking about the court. I'm talking about the Apapa camp.
Yeah.
They have now stepped in saying, look, they are, we're the national chairman at another faction within the party. Shouldn't there be, restraint saying, look, until the court has actually said this person is guilty, we will wait for that to happen and not parade ourselves too as another faction within the party.
Please, if I may come in here before.
They are holding on to a factor, and that factor is the court says certain number of National Working Committee of Labour Party should stop parading themselves as national officers of the party pending the period. The court will be able to attend to the case and give a pronouncement on it, take a decision on it.
If I may come in here.
You see, when you take someone to court, in Nigeria, the court will first of all, if it's a criminal, if it borders on criminal allegation, what the court will say is, if that person is a public official, what the court will say is, since it's a criminal allegation, that person should stop parading himself.
So I want to go
pending the time the court will now take a decision on it.
I want to go to break, but I see that Mr. Abiayo is itching to quickly respond to you, so I'll give you just like a minute or two to respond, and when we come back, we'll take
Thank you very much. First and foremost, no court of law. You see, we are not in a jungle state. Yes, please. No matter what we may think about Nigeria is not in a state of being in this jungle, right? We have our laws and we have due process. Now, and one thing that is clear is that no court of law will make an order that is inchoate or that has no basis in law.
Then the court
hold on. You cannot ventilate criminal allegations within a civil case. The case before Justice Mazu was purely a civil case. It was initiated by an originating summons with the singular main prayer that the court should make certain orders in the interim against the Labour Party, to direct the Labour Party to appoint officers to act in the interim for the position of national chairman. Now, no court can go ahead. In my years of practice, I know that as a fact. No court can go ahead and then delve into, peel open the corporate veil of a statutory organization that is a political party, and then neutralize its leadership or its organs of truth. Hold on, please. That cannot be done. We all know it's not done. We're not in a state of anarchy, right? So the reality, therefore, is that as I keep speaking to you, and as I'm glad even the Honorable Justice himself had to clarify his position, that he made no such orders to that effect in his ruling, rightly or wrongly, which has been appealed, right? Yeah, but he made it clear. He made no such orders before making clear that his adjourning matter sine die. In view of the appeal that's been issued, he made it clear.
Restrained or not?
He is not restrained in any manner from functioning. And let me tell you one thing that people don't understand, and I need to make this point. Let's even assume that maybe the order issued by the court is even correct. As a citizen of this country, and as an officer of the party, he has the right to appeal the decision. Now, hold on, let me finish. He has the right to appeal a decision that has been issued without jurisdiction. And when a party is appealing a decision that has been issued without jurisdiction, he's not bound to obey it. That's our law.
Okay, he's not bound to obey it.
He's not bound to obey it. That's the reality of the ground.
What you are saying is that there is a substantive court judgment.
There's no judgment. There's just an ex parte order that has even
bound by the law.
I will explain the reasons. Okay, thank you very much.
You will both have time to talk about this, because I also want to move to what happened at the Election Petitions Tribunal.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we will talk more on that and ways, you both think that we can, the Labour Party rather, can resolve this particular issue. All right, let's take a break. When we return, we'll talk more on this. Stay with us.
Substantial progress in the petition filed by Labour Party has not been made. Today's pre-hearing session started with an altercation between the acting
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Now that Nigeria's next president has been decided at the poll on February 25, attention is shifted to May 29 Inauguration Day, the commencement of a new 4-year tenure of Nigeria's 16th president since 1960, when the country gained independence. It's going to be the 7th inauguration ceremony since the beginning of the 4th Republic in 1999, and President-elect Bola Tinubu and Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima will take the oath of office. Join me, Nifebi Ogutoye, every weekday on TVC News for the countdown to the historic May 29 Inauguration Day, as we bring you all updates, political intrigues, and in-depth analysis of people and events that you need to know. The countdown to May 29 Inauguration Day, live at 6 p.m. every weekday, only on TVC News.
Every week, Green Angle, in partnership with Wild Aid, will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
All right, you're watching Standpoint. We'll be having a conversation on the Labour Party crisis, where it now appears there are two chairmen, national chairmen of the party, and national executive. This turned to, it played out in a very ugly manner at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, where Mr. Papa was trying to brief the press, and supporters of the Labour Party did not want him to. Eventually, he was attacked, and we'll just show you that particular report and then come back to the studio. We still have Mr. Oluwafemi Biayo, who is the legal advisor of the Labour Party in Lagos State, as well as a former national chairman of Labour Party in Lagos State. Let's show you that report.
Substantial progress in the petition filed by Labour Party has not been made. Today's pre-hearing session started with an altercation between the acting national chairman of the Labour Party and supporters of the Abu-led faction of the party. Mr. Papa has approached the faction seeking to know why they are in court. He, however, decided to lay the issue to rest. When hearing in the petition had properly commenced, Lamide Papa, as well as the national women's leader of the party, Dudu Lamungu, tried to make an appearance for Labour Party. Justice Haruna Tamani noted that if two persons are making an appearance for the party, they will not be put on record. Counsel to Labour Party began with addressing the court on the order issued by the court at the last adjourned dates. He told the court that the Independent National Electoral Commission is yet to give them over 70% of the documents they had requested from the commission. He stressed that INEC Resident Electoral Commission in Rivers State told the party that it has no Form EC8A to give to the party. He prayed the court for an adjournment to enable him regularize his processes. Counsel to the President-elect, however, disagreed with the submissions of Counsel to Labour Party, as the order of the court at the last adjourned date was for parties to cooperate and narrow down issues. Counsel to the APC agreed with the submission of the President-elect. The court subsequently adjourned to 19th May for further hearing. Counsel to INEC noted that the issue raised by the Labour Party is the refusal to pay the sum of 1.5 million naira as legal fee for the CCT document that they sought to receive from Sokoto State, and also as pertaining to the document from Rivers State. Part of the documents were given to the political party, but they insisted that all documents must be brought in before they could accept any documents from the commission.
INEC has a lead counsel I believe that something good may come out of a chat that I'm supposed to have with him today.
Be advising them and all other political parties to conduct themselves in the way that Nigerians will be proud of them. This is about leadership of the country. How you display yourself here shows how you intended to lead Nigerians, and this has not been a very good example.
Trouble again started after the pre-hearing session when supporters of a guerrilla faction of the party refused an acting national chairman Lamidi Apapa to address the press. These led to serious altercations between both factions as it took the intervention of security personnel to restore peace to the court. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, let me start with Mr. Bia. I mean, you saw that report, and I'm sure you already know what played out in court. And many people are wondering why that was allowed to fester, because he said, and these are the allegations from Mr. Papa, that he was threatened at a meeting that was called to broker peace between warring factions, not to appear in court or he will be dealt with. I want you to respond to that.
Please, these are just all propaganda, and it is playing right to the script as it has been intended by the paymasters that have initiated these scandalous attacks. You see, the Nigerians must understand that what these entities, these so-called powers that be, are trying to achieve is merely to put the Labour Party in a state of scandal. I'm telling you, internally, there is nothing going on. The party is still effectively functioning administratively as it should be done.
And I get that, but I'm talking about the attack on Mr. Papa in court. And many people believe that
it's the Labour Party that was attacked in court. Why are we twisting the narrative? The reality was that we had the presidential candidate who diligently and in accordance with being a law-abiding citizen was in court with representatives of the party who were in court to witness the proceedings, and third-party agents of disruptions came into the court premises and deliberately tried to create a scene. There was nothing stopping Mr. Papa if he wanted to, as a Nigerian citizen, he has the right to go into the gallery and sit down and observe proceedings that are meant to be in public, to be conducted in public. Everybody has that right. Why didn't he find a seat to go and sit down? Why did he go and challenge the presidential candidate, his representatives of the party that are there, and start creating a scene? We are the ones being attacked here. We've been under onslaught. The Labour Party has been under onslaught throughout these electoral cycles.
But does this justify the attack on him outside the court?
That we have nothing to do with. As far as Labour Party is concerned, there's not one member of the Labour Party who is law-abiding, and they know the provisions of our constitution, that would have done such a thing. If Nigerians generally are disaffected by the fact that these individuals have the audacity to waylay a tribunal, go there and start disrupting proceedings, and nobody is talking about that reality, and they're making it look as if it's the Labour Party that is attacking an individual. We are the ones under attack here.
So are you saying that, because you said earlier that it's the Labour Party that was attacked, are you saying that Lamidi Apapa is not a member of the Labour Party?
He is being utilized, as far as I'm concerned. No deputy national chairman who has sworn to fulfill the terms of our constitution could have been conducting himself in the manner he has been doing, deliberately to truncate, even attempting to truncate even the electoral process of the petitions of our presidential candidates. What is the objective? Look, this is so clear and simple that everybody can see what's the final analysis or objective of this whole gambit. And Nigerians are saying no, they will not stand for it. That they will not allow the presidential proceedings of the electoral tribunal to be truncated. And that's the only essence. So if Nigerians have a right to show their protest, to show their disaffection to him as an individual, and if that has occurred, well, that is not the Labour Party's position. But please, we should stop construing this matter.
Let me bring in Mr. Salako, because he makes a point, right? Yeah. The mood out there, hold on. The mood out there, especially amongst obedience, who are the ones that actually gave the Labour Party, and let's be honest, some level of national recognition and acceptance. Exactly. The mood amongst them is that, look, Apapa is not recognized. They believe that, look, he is also a stooge for, like he mentioned, powers that be. How do you then legitimize his pursuit and that of all those who are with him when he doesn't have the goodwill of majority of the members of the party and majority of the group that we have now called the obedient supporters of Peter Obi?
These guys are just making trouble with their once upon a time boss. That is where I understand it. There is an issue between them, between Julius Abure's office as the national chairman of the party and the collective office of these guys. They were members of the national working committee of the party yesterday, and they are still claiming to be today. So that is to let you know that there is something beyond what all of us can understand.
But my question is, if you do not have that support, how do you then legitimize your position? Your position. And I'm talking about Apapa. If he's not receiving the support from obedience, if he's not receiving support from the majority of members of the party, or what platform of legitimacy does he have?
The obedient are just members of a movement. If you go into the constitution of the party, you won't see anywhere obedience is mentioned there. His obedience is his place of obedience mentioned inside the constitution of the party.
But I don't know the voting block of the party as it stands.
What we are saying is this: these guys are dragging issues with their boss based on the content of the constitution they wrote for themselves. These guys that are making this trouble are also claiming. One of them told me that he wrote the constitution of the party, and that person is the national legal advisor of the party. I'm surprised that he is the national legal advisor of the party in Ogun State. He is sitting on the side of Abure.
I'm sitting on the side of the party.
Of the party.
I don't have...
Good. Yeah. Of the party. Good.
We have only one party.
I also expect the national legal advisor of the party to be sitting on the side where you are sitting.
But also it does so.
There is supposed to be a council, a kind of an association where all of you will be talking.
It does so.
You are the legal advisor of Ogun State. You are on the side of Abure. You might be calling it on the side of the party. But as far as I'm concerned, you are on the side of Abure's side. Okay. The national legal advisor of the party is on the side of Lamidi Apapa. That is to let you know that
politics not about misinformation.
The national legal advisor of the party is Barrister Akingbade has been suspended by this party. Even as we are speaking, please let me inform the general public that even Mr. Lamidi Apapa, Alhaji Lamidi Apapa himself, as at the 18th of April, has been suspended from this party. By the neck provision.
You see the issue. They are claiming that they are also claiming now from their own side that they've also suspended all these people you are talking about. So that is to let you know that the issue with the party.
Even before all of these issues, I spoke with Arambambi, I think months before this issue, when his announcement, when his suspension was actually announced, and he claimed not to have been suspended. So for Arambambi, I'm very aware that his suspension was already out there even before this issue. But let me ask you, this is the question I'm asking. On one hand, Apapa says he supports Peter Obi. On the other hand, he has made statements, attacking, the personality of Peter Obi. Would it not also be in the best interest of the party if he says, look, if he doesn't attack the person who has brought the party to the front line?
Do you know the solution to this problem? I'm interested in the solution to the problem. Reconciliation. These guys that are dragging issues with Julius Abure, they were Julius Abure's main men.
I think we've had this refrain.
Is that something you're trying to do?
We don't know what issues are being referred to.
What I'm trying to put out is that there is something between
what things?
And these guys.
What's the speculation you are putting out?
I'm not speculating.
Then come on, let us know what you are talking about. What is the thing? You are not speaking in the open.
Chairman of Labour Party in Lagos State.
Give us specifics.
I left recently. I know a lot about the party. Let me even shock you. I am not an Arambambi person. I have not spoken with Arambambi this year. I am not an Arabambi person, because I know Arabambi to be one of the problems of Labour Party in Nigeria. Arabambi is one of the problems of Labour Party. But the issue is this. I am just being objective. There is an issue in the party, and the court is listening to it. The court is attending to it. Why should the court even be attending to it when the party has a constitution? When the case got to the court should have simply told those who took the case there that the court would have simply thrown the case out and tell them to go and resolve it internally with the constitution of their party. Right. Why is the court attending to it? And that's number one. Then number two, there is a restraining order.
What order?
That Julius Abure cannot perform. Is that restraining order subsisting or not?
Right, let me get to
it. If it is not, then why is Abure going to the appeal court to appeal it?
You must I want you to respond.
Thank you.
Just a minute. You will respond to why Abure is going to the appeal court.
Why is he going to the appeal court?
You respond to that. I also want you to respond to the fact that people are saying, look, you have a presidential candidate who most people within your party respect, and that the fact that he has not stepped into this particular issue to resolve it and ensure that it doesn't blow out of proportion like it has done today, is quite surprising and shocking for them, that he is in the best position, to resolve it. So why has Peter Obi not actually stepped in to resolve this particular matter?
If truly there was a dispute, if truly there was an internal party dispute, you can be rest assured that my principal, Peter Obi, will be the first person to have lawfully initiated such an act. We have no dispute. This is simply an onslaught. We are experiencing a political onslaught in the Labour Party. The target is Peter Obi, to ensure that he will not be declared lawfully through the courts as the next president, lawful president of this nation. You see, so the whole idea, it has been there, even to the extent that this party had been so attacked that almost 98% of the
when you say lawful president, hold on, when you say lawful president, because I need to correct that. When you say lawful president, INEC has declared someone president-elect. So we have to wait for the court, whatever decision the court makes. Hold on. And then number two, no one can predict a court judgment. You can only put out your case. Right?
Yes, you're perfectly correct.
You can either win or you don't win.
Yes, you're perfect.
Now, if you win, good for you. But if you don't, you still need to have a party to run on in case, of next election. But if you allow this particular issue to fester in a way that it destabilizes a party, what party then do you run on in the next election?
Like I said, the reality on ground is that this is not an issue that is really a matter of mediation, that is an internal party dispute.
So your party is not going to mediate this particular issue?
No, we are not saying so. What I'm saying is that this is just a situation where there is direct attempts by certain individuals that have lent themselves to being utilized as agents of disruption within the party and are given the charge and mandate to ensure that they frustrate the internal operations of the party. That is what is going on. And when you are in that state, you are in a state of war, and you must take defensive measures to ensure that your corporate integrity is not compromised to the point that you look at the attempted to do with the courts.
So the stand of your party is, hold on just a minute, the stand of your party is there are people who you believe are trying to frustrate the workings or the operations of your party.
Yes.
You are rather plug them out.
No, we are taking all necessary measures.
Instead of saying, how do we resolve this issue and bring everyone back to the rank?
We're taking necessary measures. When you've been infiltrated and you are being attacked, you first have to try and plug up the situation, plug up the loopholes. And we are trying to take all the necessary corporate lawful measures to ensure that the corporate integrity of the party is not further compromised. Now, you spoke about my principal. This is a very law-abiding person. He also is a member of the party. He knows what the constitution or the position of the constitutions are. It's stated. He cannot act outside himself. He's bound by the terms of our constitution. He cannot act outside the terms of the constitution in any manner that is unconstitutional. Being the candidate of the party and the flag bearer of the party, he has the duty to extol our constitution and our party ideals as much as possible. So he knows clearly where his loyalty lies, and he also knows what are the substantive lawful organograms that are still extant. If tomorrow, or had it been, there was any reason that we in the Labour Party don't have a valid, substantive chairman,
All right.
if Peter Obi will be the first person to acknowledge
So
that.
let me bring in Mr. Salako. I know that you have said, because you said earlier that you are no longer, this is the last time you're going to speak on this issue, that you no longer want to be called Labour Party, that you no longer want to be called the former state chairman of the Labour Party. You have now left the Labour Party. I know you have submitted, your resignation?
Public letter of resignation.
Resignation. I saw that.
I've gone ahead to
what
form my
now?
own political
Exactly.
group.
Oh, fantastic! I was just going to ask you what next for you.
Yes, I have formed my own political group, and the name is Passion Alliance Forum.
It is a political group or a political party?
It's a political association. Most former state chairmen have it. For example, Alhaji Moshood Salvador he was a former state chairman of PDP in Lagos. He has his own conscience forum. Muslim Obanikoro has. Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu has his own political system. So I also feel I should have my own too, because I have fans, I have supporters. I have.
And what's the idea of this?
I have political associates all over Nigeria, all over the states. I feel I should create a forum where I can put them together for us to continue to run our politics in line with our own, founding ideals. And that's what we have been doing. So the name of my political association is Passion Alliance Forum, a.k.a. PAMFO, that's the name. When you hear PAMFO, that's the name of my political association.
I'm glad. We found a place to laugh.
From PAMFO now, I can now decide to move, whether to go back to the political party where I came from, that is APC, or somewhere else. But it is likely it is APC I'm going back to.
Well, you've just announced that you're going back to the APC.
So
which means that you are.
I'm going back to where I came from.
All right.
You see, and that hits the point.
They don't trust me. They don't trust me.
My sister, that's what is called the law of homogeneous species.
I wish we had enough time to talk about
it. So this law, whether we like it or not, this law takes effect.
I can't go anymore.
Regularly, whether we like it or not. So everybody will find their pathways and their homogeneous.
You can't call Alaji Ababa a pole.
All right.
Party.
All right. I have to leave it here. I'm glad that we found a good place to leave it. Thank you both for talking to us.
They are dragging issues with
so now I will no longer introduce you as former chairman of Labour Party in Lagos State. So I'll just say that I'll call you. Is it the chairman or director general of the Passion?
Chairman and stroke leader.
Chairman stroke leader of the Passion.
Yeah, the leader stroke chairman of
Passion Alliance Forum. And also we also had with us the legal advisor of the Labour Party in Ogun State. I'm very sure this is not the last time we're going to be speaking on issues in the Labour Party. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking to us. Now, that's the show today. Remember, you can catch a repeat at 11 p.m. tonight, in case you missed it now. And then you can also watch again at, I think, 4 or 5 a.m. On Sunday morning. Thank you so much for watching. I am Precious Amai.
Never miss a moment. Instant breaking news from all over the globe. Live streaming of your favorite programs delivered directly to you. Watch anytime from anywhere on your mobile or smart devices. Download the TVC News app today. Available on Google Play and Apple Store.